Tensions are mounting once again between India and Pakistan after a deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir claimed the lives of 26 civilians. On April the 22nd, terror attack in Pahalgam has triggered a series of diplomatic and military escalations across the region. In response, the United States has urged both nations to de-escalate. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke separately with India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Rubio condemned the unconscionable attack and reaffirmed Washington's support to India in fighting terrorism, while urging Pakistan to cooperate with the ongoing investigation. Meanwhile, the National Investigation Agency chief has reached Pahalgam to oversee the probe. Sources say the terrorists were present in a sector of Kashmir 2 days before the assault, conducting surveillance of multiple tourist sites. 4 key locations were initially considered as targets. Amid growing distrust, India has shut its airspace to all Pakistan-owned flights in a direct tit-for-tat after Islamabad blocked Indian aircraft earlier. New Delhi has also blocked social media accounts of popular Pakistani celebrities. Adding to uncertainty, Pakistan has appointed ISI Chief Lieutenant General Mohammed Asim Malik as its new national security advisor. The move comes as ceasefire violations along the line of control continue for a 7th straight night. In a press briefing, Islamabad denied all involvement in the Pahalgam attack and warned it would respond forcefully if provoked. Despite US efforts to defuse the crisis, tensions on both sides of the border remain dangerously high. We are here to discuss this in more detail with Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist located in New Delhi. Gautam, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, we've had a US response to this today. What have you thought of the general international response, not just directly after the attack, but in the days following it as well?
Well, I think by and large, the international community is very upset with Pakistan for not only doing a horrible, unprovoked attack on civilians who were killed in cold blood, but also sitting around denying it. And I'm sure Mr. Rubio must have told Shehbaz Sharif, who I understand has taken to a hospital bed, that, you know, you people need to own up and say you did it. Not only did they refuse to own up, but the terrorist arm of Lashkar-e-Toiba that initially claimed responsibility and then denied it was taken out of the resolution of the UNSC by Pakistan and Chinese intervention. The name was TTK and it was rubbed out. So Pakistan, is acting as always in its perfidious manner and will be attacked and severely punished by India on one or more occasions as seen fit by the Indian Armed Forces and the political bosses in India. So, I think diplomacy does not stretch to condoning terrorism. Every single country has said that this is terrorism, pure and simple. Pakistan is the fountainhead of terrorism, and this cannot be allowed to go unchallenged. They are supporting India for this very reason. And if anybody is under the impression that the international community is asking India to stand down in the interests of peace and tranquility, I don't think that's the case. What they're asking India to do is to be careful that it does not get escalated beyond the point.
But Gautam, Washington has obviously reaffirmed support for New Delhi, but has called for restraint in this conflict, obviously speaking with leaders from both countries. How do you square those messages without them appearing to be contradictory?
Well, insofar as diplomacy goes, nobody's going to say that please go ahead and, sequester Pakistan. If that's what you want to do, that is not what US or any of the 135 countries who are in support, and even those countries like Turkey and China who support Pakistan, they have also condemned the actual terrorist act in Pahalgam. So now it is a matter of saying, well, look, I mean, don't wreck the country. I think that's what they are trying to say.
But Gautam, what have you thought of Pakistan's response, particularly after the attack? Obviously, their diplomatic measures of sending back diplomats, banning Indian planes from their airspace, which obviously India has done today, tit for tat. But they have supported a neutral probe into the terrorist attack. And so I was wondering what you thought of Pakistan's response and if there is any real room for diplomacy here.
Well, there will be room for diplomacy after we have attacked them. At the moment, we are listening to everybody with absolute politeness, but we have to do what we have to do. As for Pakistan, this is the same playbook that we've been listening to for 40 years. Probe, dossiers. We're not listening this time.
Gautam Mukherjee, thank you very much for joining us.